Hi, my name is Matt Harlan. I'd like to share a story with you. In 2005, me and two of my classmates were leaving our high school, and as we were exiting the parking lot, I looked in my side view mirror and noticed two police officers were trailing us. At first sight, I thought, this isn't for me, can't be. And they signaled us with their hands and over the intercom to pull over. So we pulled over at the nearest fire station, which was closed at the time, and they slowly approached the car. And as they approached the car, he knocked on the window and said, "Can I see your license and registration?" And I asked him, "Why are we being pulled over?" I'm a little confused. We just exited the parking lot. Is there something that you're noticing that gives you the reason to think that we needed to be stopped? He said, "I just need to run your plates." And so we give him our license and our registration, and he runs our plates. Him and the captain come back to the car, and they said, "We're gonna need you to step out of the vehicle, sir." So at this point, my heart is racing. I'm wondering, why are we being pulled over? We simply just left the high school. And as they pull us out of the car, they take their batons out, they throw us on the hood of the cop car, and they're yelling racial slurs at us. And as they're doing this, we become a little bit more agitated, asking, what's going on? Why are you guys doing this? Like, why are you guys calling us the N-word? What is happening? And they're telling us, don't resist arrest, just comply. And so I choose to comply, and I signal to my friend, like, hey, we need to relax. They put us in handcuffs and throw us in the back of the car. And so as I'm there, my mind is racing. I'm wondering, why are they searching my vehicle? They didn't ask me if they can search my vehicle. Why did they leave my female friend who's Hispanic in the car? Why are they putting all of my contents in my vehicle on the sidewalk? And as all this is happening, there are faculty members driving by, there are school principals driving by, and even the dean of our district had witnessed what happened that day. And so I politely asked the officers, I'm sitting in the back of the car, "Officer, can you please let me know why this is happening? I'm a little confused." And he looks back at me and tells me, there was just an account 5 miles from here of two males who robbed a pawn shop, and we have reason to believe that that is you and your friend. And I asked him, well, what is the description? He said there were two black males. And so at this time, I'm really perplexed that black would be the only description to give the officers probable cause enough to pull us over, and actually the manner in which they pulled us over. And so after that, they say, okay, you're free to go. You realize that, you guys aren't the suspects. Have a good day. And I remember all the while, I was trying to justify who I was to the officer. I told him I was on the basketball team. I told him I was a straight A student. I mentioned to him that I know the police officer in the high school, and none of that seemed to suffice his inclination that we were somehow criminals. And so the next day I went back to school, and I was actually very close friends with the police officer, and I asked him, I said, hey, this happened to me, is there anything that can be done? And he looked at me and he almost just shrugged and said, unfortunately, this is how things are. If we deem suspects to be threats, we treat them accordingly until we have facts that show us otherwise. And I didn't think that was enough, so I talked to the APs, I talked to the principal, I talked to the district dean. I said, this happened, I want justice. What can we do as a school to make sure that this injustice is rectified? And they simply gave me the same shrug, and they said, Matt, unfortunately, this is how it is. Being a black man in America, you're gonna be perceived as a higher threat than other people, unfortunately. And because of this, you'll have to learn how to navigate with your space throughout the world and how to disarm people so that they perceive you as being less risky or less threatening of an individual. And that was unjust to me. What would have been justice in that time is if my friends, those who knew me, those who could vouch for me, those who had authority over me in the educational space were willing to speak on my behalf.